Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from Mousesteps.com.
And this is episode number 67.
67.
Of Mousesteps Weekly.
Sponsored by Theme Park Connection in Winter Garden, Florida.
They're always getting new Disney items.
They had a ton of them this past week.
Yeah, from California.
And Maple Leaf Tickets in Kissimmee, Florida.
Our official ticket agency, the best deals on tickets in town. Check them out.
And we're first going to talk about Jack Skellington and Sally this week.
Yes. It was very interesting to see Jack Skellington and Sally
in Epcot.
In Epcot, yes.
And they are going to be at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party this year. I always say very merry, but it's a not so scary.
Right.
And this is the first time ever.
And they're going to be in the location right at the beginning of the party by City Hall.
Where Duffy was.
Well, I think last year Phineas and Ferb were there.
Oh.
2 years ago, Duffy
I don't
was.
remember where Duffy was.
We know way too much about that. But yeah, so they'll be there, so expect long lines. But it'll be worth it because they were, look at this, they were incredible to talk to.
I don't think they'll have the lines that they had at Downtown Disney when they made their debut on the East Coast.
That was for Frankenweenie Weekend, from what I remember, a precursor to Limited Time Magic last year.
And their debut was actually, since it was Downtown Disney, anybody could go. So I don't think the lines will be as long at the Magic Kingdom because, you know, party nights have a certain amount of guests and there's other things to do.
Right. Everyone wants to get into the park and start trick-or-treating. There's candy involved. So,
I expect
it'll
them
be
to
a
be
different type of deal.
I think they'll be very popular, but not 3 hours long.
Right.
I don't think it's possible.
That was probably the longest I've waited in line since Indiana Jones opened in California. That was a long wait, three plus hours.
I did for Test Track when it, a cast member preview, I believe.
Happily, though.
Very happily for Test Track.
But the first time we ever saw these characters live was at Disneyland about 4 years ago.
And they've been there, well, as you said, for years. And I'm glad they're finally here. Everybody's like, when are they coming?
Yeah, they're clamoring for them here. And, out there it was a little different because they have the Haunted Mansion Holiday.
And I've wanted that here for years, too.
Right. It doesn't look like we'll be getting it here, but at least we'll be getting Jack and Sally. And that's a good start. And speaking of California, Disneyland is actually celebrating 13 years of delightful frights at Haunted Mansion Holiday.
13 years of Haunted Mansion Holiday. I remember the first year it opened. It was the same year as Disney's California Adventure, 2001. Mm-hmm. And I didn't really go for long to the California Adventure, but I did go to Haunted Mansion Holiday over and over and over and over again.
You chose wisely.
I did.
As I did the
it.
same thing. I was there that year, too, and it was amazing. I fell in love with that attraction, and it would be nice if it ever did come here. They have it in Tokyo, though. You know that?
I want to hear.
Well, but and is there anything else that you can tell us about Disneyland?
Oh, well, again, 13 years. They always have a cake. So they'll have a different cake,
like
right? A centerpiece,
which is a cake,
and they're going to have a new animation effect in the portrait gallery,
right? With the master of ceremonies, Jack Skellington himself, perhaps.
And it sort of says think like a stained glass effect or something similar.
So you must check out the video. The interaction is amazing. They are fantastic this year.
They were so good.
And I shouldn't say this year.
Always,
it's their first
they're
year.
always good.
You want to check them out. This guy was pretty good too. It's Captain Hook.
Captain Hook was there,
and Captain Hook. We're talking to him and we're telling him about Peter Pan, and he's like, I don't like that Peter Pan. But notice
he didn't say that.
Notice the smile is stuck on his face.
He didn't say anything.
So even though he is trying to get across that dastardly Peter Pan,
but he didn't say it.
Well, because he's got the smile stuck to his face. He can't say anything negative. It's almost like a crazy smile, but it's Captain Hook.
Yes, and Gepetto also was nearby.
There he is now, Gepetto.
And he also did not say anything to you.
He was quiet. He was, but
they were all quiet except for Jack.
I kind of made up what in my mind what I thought they wanted to say, which of course must be right, wouldn't you say?
Sometimes the character attendants will say a little something for them, but not this time.
Right. So anyway, that was great. We loved seeing the characters, as we always do. It was at Epcot International.
It was like a surprise meet and greet, which they do occasionally.
Now, your birthday was last week. Happy birthday
Thank
to you. And for your birthday, I took you to Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge. And while we were there, when we checked in, they offered us this free, this bonus test.
It's like a Fastpass Plus to be our guest restaurant for lunch, not dinner.
So it was another test for Fastpass Plus, and of course we love doing those. So here we are in the room making our selections for the lunch at Be Our Guest Restaurant.
And I did not like Be Our Guest Restaurant for lunch. We've had several great dinners there, but for lunch was just so-so. They used to have a steak sandwich, which was sort of like rubber.
Right, it's true. But in fairness to Be Our Guest, we have not been since it actually opened. We only have done lunch
during the test.
During the pre-opening period. So in fairness, we don't know what it was actually like.
And I'm going to say right now that the new sandwich, the new roast beef sandwich, is so much better than the steak sandwich.
The whole meal was wonderful.
It was good.
I'm so glad it got us back there. Mm-hmm. We've always sort of been afraid of the long line and the memory of not having a great lunch. So
it was more than not so, and plus it's more expensive than, say, like the spicy chicken sandwich over at Sleepy Hollow, which is a favorite of ours, and that just went up to like $7. This is $5 more for the sandwich.
Right. But anyway, here we are. We are choosing our meals. Now, one thing about when you do, if this becomes live, you can change your selections right up to the last minute, right up to when you pay. So,
well, like I added a soup at the last minute.
Right, and you make it, who knows what you're going to be feeling like in a week or two. You know, this is just to save time. I was told as you approach the restaurant, the RFID chip alerts them that you're coming, and they start making the food.
Yeah, but what if you change it, and then all of a sudden they're like, that dastardly Jeff changed his order?
They can handle the dastardly Jeff. I am amazed I was able to say that and change it. We actually did. We had a friend come with us, and we were able to add her to the reservation and to have us both pay separately. But we'll get into that. So here you go. We've made our selections. There is the confirmation, and we will be on our way to Be Our Guest. And actually, when we did this at the lodge, it was a Friday, but even though we were checking out, we were still able to make the reservation for the following Monday.
Well, there were two different color cards. One of them was purple, the other one was pink, and one was for that only during the Animal Kingdom Lodge stay, and the other was for after.
Yeah, actually, what that meant was you would be getting a rose if you use the other color card, because it meant you didn't have your Magic Band, but we had Magic Bands, so we didn't need the rose. That's what it actually did mean. Anyway, here we are. We're checking in, and they just look on their little iPad thingy, and they say, you're good to go. Go down the Fastpass line. This is the Fastpass line. Really long line again. Now they give out umbrellas to everybody to try to help out with the whole
heat.
Hot Florida heat.
It would be nice. Maybe they'll build something eventually, a little something just to cover everybody.
Yeah. I mean, they have started handing out lemonade, which I thought is helpful, and trying to do something for the guests. See, they're trying to hand out more umbrellas. But if you do this test, or actually when it opens live, if you pre-book you don't even have to pre-book it. You can do it while you're at the park. Eventually, you just take up your smartphone, make your order, and it should
depending on the availability, but when you go to Be Our Guest restaurant, the way the ordering system can take quite some time. So hopefully this will help to expedite it.
Well, look at how fast, unbelievably fast. Mm-hmm. It ended up taking us minutes, 1 or 2 minutes.
It would be nice if they had more registers in there too, though.
For now, I would agree, but if they get this thing fully rolled out, I think, especially if you're able to pay online, then you wouldn't need any more registers. And speaking of paying, well, actually, I didn't pay. That means I checked in at the podium, and our friend who didn't have Magic Bands was given the red rose, and there's the red rose, and then we were told which register to go to complete the transaction. And as I said, even now at the last second, if you wanted to make a change, you can, which I think is a very good thing. You're not locked into your selections you made days ago.
Well, I added a soup, and that was to me, that was a
dessert.
Good,
we added another delightful dessert, too. Because your quote was, if you're going to eat my dessert, order your own dessert.
Yes.
And
I ordered dessert.
Happily,
you said you don't want one, but that means
you knew
I
might have some of yours. You see how this goes.
They're not that big to share.
It was your birthday weekend.
Yes.
So
I wanted my own cupcake.
So anyway, this is what we got, just our receipt. Our friend got her receipt, and we are off to choose a table. So what's kind of cool about this is you can choose a table in any of the 3 dining rooms, and it turns out the only dining room we have not dined at is the Music Box room.
Right, and we've eaten in the ballroom and the West Wing a couple times, but they're both a little louder than we really preferred for lunch.
Right, and we had things to talk about, so we wanted a more quiet experience, and it certainly was here. And it's a beautiful room. It was very nice to finally have a chance
much brighter.
Yes, very bright. So anyway, we got settled. We picked the table. There's our table right there on the left, and sat down. And within
a couple minutes.
Here came the food. This is our friend's food.
I think her sandwich was called like croque monsieur, something.
Yeah, something like that. We were laughing at the name, but I know she said it was very good.
And this was our meal. I added the potato leek soup, and you had the French onion soup.
Yes, I always like the French onion soup at dinner, and this was just as good. Maybe a little bit smaller, but it was just as good as the dinner
I think it's a little overpriced. And at this time, you're like, well, you're going to be on here, and you're doing you're typing on your phone.
Well, I just wanted to make sure you didn't feel funny because
I didn't.
you know.
And then we had the carved prime chuck roast sandwich, which I thought was excellent. It's like sliced beef.
It was really, really good. I mean, much better than whatever the beef sandwich
Very tender.
They had before.
Right. I did not like that beef sandwich. And then I had the triple chocolate cupcake, and you had the strawberry cream cheese cupcake.
Right, and I always like that. So again, all the food, everything was great. Quickly, what did you think of the whole experience?
I enjoyed it. I liked being able to walk in.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't like that?
Once everybody's on the system, I don't think it'll be that fast.
Well,
obviously,
but we'll see. I mean, they've done a lot so far with the system, so I have an open mind. We'll
have an open mind about that.
Right. So while we were in the new Fantasyland area, we decided to check out this new marketplace that should be opening soon.
Well, hopefully it will open this week. Prince Eric's Village Market.
And they'll be selling things like shaved ice and just
fruit.
Basically snacks, beverages, that type of thing.
Is that looks like, is it flounder? What's his name?
Well, you discovered that. You are very good with spotting details. It's obviously just some nice filigree. I don't think it's actually a character. It's just nice
looks like a character
decoration in the shop.
Well, we'll see.
Yes, we shall see very soon. So here we go. We'll have a closer look at the new marketplace.
And there's not much to see yet. They haven't put out the fruit or any of the food items, and it's not too many different items, but they'll have again like fruit set out. Here
you can see the prices. The lemonade is $3.99. Shaved ice also $3.99. Oh, they have a pickle. A pickle for $1. Hey, $1.39 for a pickle. Not bad.
A pickle and some frozen lemonade.
Spear for $2.99.
Well,
a bargain.
I don't know about that.
But anyway, we will certainly check it out once it's open.
We're going back to the Magic Kingdom on Friday.
Yeah, it should be opening imminently.
And Halloween should be out.
It already is. I saw pictures today. Halloween.
I was hoping it would be there
We missed it by one day.
Well.
But we didn't miss this. It's the first sign of detail of the mine train ride.
Well, there's a number of details, but this actually is like, oh, look, the entrance. I mean, it looks great.
Or the exit.
It
is the 7 Dwarfs Mine Train ride opening next year, and we're very excited to see the final pieces going in.
And then after this, we ran because it rained really hard.
We didn't quite run yet. We had one more stop to make.
Princess Fairytale Hall. And then we got stuck under the carousel.
Yeah. Also opening soon is the Princess Fairytale Hall, which will also have a standby entrance and a Fastpass Plus entrance.
And it's set for fall, but we don't know exactly when. Originally, we were told around September, so I'm hoping that will be.
Yeah,
but it could be even later.
It does sound like September, but you just never know.
We also went to the My Magic Plus Service Center, which is in the Town Square Theater on Main Street. If you go to City Hall, you can make reservations, but there's more information in here.
Right, and they have a lot of these iPads, which is more so than the kiosks that are at City Hall.
And I didn't even know they were iPads before. So you were like, there's iPads there. And I'm like, I don't see any iPads, but I guess they're
iPads.
Hidden.
They are hidden, but they were wonderful because they opened up a lot of doors for us, gave us a lot of answers to the questions we've been having.
Well, we're Premier Pass holders, and we have not been able to use the online version since we first did the test.
Right.
And all of a sudden, we are able to do that now.
Right, they had a big, right over the weekend, I guess, they were able to actually connect all the bi-coastal passes, so we were able to access the My Magic Plus. Here's what we learned. We learned a lot of things. Number one, you can only do one park per day right now.
And we're just going to say everything can change.
Right, everything can change. This is what it is currently.
Okay, and there will be no Halloween Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. There won't be any fast passes.
Right, and there never is fast passes for the parties anyway,
no
so it's
Plus.
to be expected it would not use Fast Pass Plus.
And we can now make reservations as pass holders, and I know that most pass holders don't yet have a Magic Band. We did because we had the resort stay, but eventually it will roll out to everybody, but we were not able to make reservations ahead, and now we can.
The biggest thing that we learned is at this time, Annual pass holders can now hold 7 days worth of reservations at a time.
Right. Like right now.
Within a 60-day period.
Within a 60-day period. Right now, I can see like 2 months on my, on
calendar,
my,
your calendar.
Online. And I can choose right now 7 days and make reservations for those 7 days. As soon as one rolls off, you can make another. So within a 2-month time, I can have 7 standing days of Fastpass reservations.
Right. I mean, you can go to the parks every single day for those 60 days and use it. It's just you can only hold 7 days of reservations at once.
And this could change. Like, I don't want anybody like quoting us and saying, oh, it can change.
That's how it is now.
That is
and
how it is
even
today.
told it's possible you can hold more than 7 days right now. We haven't tested the system, but we are told it's possible it could be even more right now.
And eventually they could take, some days away. But I just want to say, I think they're being really great to pass holders. And I know that was such a concern ahead of time. And that people started panicking, but don't panic because they're thinking of us too.
Right, and the reason that they're not including all the pass holders is we are told there's too many pass holders. It would be too much for the test, too much volume for the test. So the only way pass holders are getting MagicBands is if they are doing a resort
Currently.
stay and they are asked. So you could still stay at a resort and not be asked to be part of the MagicBand test. It's really the luck of the draw, or if you know which hotel happens to be doing. Of course, it's
I don't
true.
know. I thought like everybody at the Animal
true.
Kingdom Lodge had a magic band.
No, you have to be asked. Of course, it's true. I would never say something
I have
not
no idea.
true.
But the point is, things are, as Josh would say, things are fluid. You never know exactly what's happening. But they've thought of day guests. They've thought of pass holders. And I really commend Disney on that. They're thinking of everybody.
So what else do we want to say? What else did we learn?
Well, I just mentioned the day guests. They've been testing with day guests. They keep bringing more and more into the system. So I would expect pass holders pretty soon to be brought in as well.
I could tell you one thing that we just proved today is, as a pass holder,
that's right.
I was able to hook up my credit card to my MagicBand and store it in there permanently. So now if I'm in the parks and I want to make a purchase, I can use my MagicBand to make the purchase.
And I had heard rumors that pass holders would not be able to use the MagicBands in that way. So that's something that surprised me.
And I never had heard those rumors, so I think that's all a bunch of hogwash.
What, that it's a rumor?
In your head.
No, it is not in my head.
I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Is there anything else we want to say before we move on to
I think that's it. We're going to talk
testing?
about RFID, which I'm surprised they didn't hook up to the MagicBand.
Moving on to Rapid Fill, Disney's Rapid Fill.
We keep getting asked, because we did the test a couple years ago, Disney's All-Star Music Resort and Disney's All-Star Movies Resort, we tested out the new mug with Rapid Fill.
And what was the original company that we did the test a few years ago?
Well, it's Valid Fill. I don't know if Valid Fill and Rapid Fill are still kind of maintained by the same company. I have no idea.
Okay. Well, anyway, this is the sign. You're able to buy it by increments of days, which I like.
Right. Like we bought, and we're not staying there, we bought a one-day mug, and so we could test it.
Right. And here I am buying the mug. I'm going to pay for it with my snazzy MagicBand.
And the one thing is, besides different colors, the only difference in the cup, besides the RFID chip, is that it actually says Rapid Fill on it.
Right, it has that branded on it. So here are the new machines. You can tell them by the little black things at the bottom. Those are the readers that read the RFID chip.
And supposedly you can sometimes hold it above it, but you're supposed to put it on top.
So here we go, filling it. It says the fill is complete. We had actually pre-filled it a little bit, so that's why it was so fast. For the demonstration, it's showing the next fill is 1 minute and 37 seconds away.
Right, and sometimes it would say 2.5 minutes, sometimes it would say 1.5 minutes. It never seemed to...
My theory is it's tied to when you first start filling it.
I have no idea.
And I think it's 2.5 minutes from the time you first start. So sometimes we're slower, sometimes we're faster.
I don't know.
That's just a theory. I don't know if it's true.
Well, we started out at the All-Star Music, and then we headed over to the All-Star Movies, and you can use, the one thing is you can go to any resort they don't all have the Rapid Fill right now, but when they do, you can go resort to resort to resort during your stay.
And I think that'll be very handy around the holidays when people like to go and resort hop and look at all the decorations.
And buy an $8.99 mug and have a day of hot chocolate.
Even for us that are local, we'll be doing that. And here we met a nice family from Germany.
And that's Nicholas.
Yeah, that recognized us from our shows.
Right, and he is. They've been using these mugs now for 2 weeks. It's been out a while.
And he was nice enough to help demonstrate, so we appreciate that. Here we go again. We are going to show a little bit more detail on how these things work.
There's one quick thing I want to mention. Our new friends from Germany, they were on the length of stay option, and they're here for more than 2 weeks. Their mug expires 14 days from first use. And they're
here for 16 days.
Right, and they were told that it would be extended. They just have to ask to get it extended. But I read online that you might have to pay to extend, which I wouldn't understand. So I don't really know what the story is.
Yeah, we'll find out from them and report back. But I'm guessing they will just renew them and add the extra 2 days.
Because it is a length of stay. That is their length of stay.
And there's the standard prices. As you can see, it's $17.99 for a length of stay, $8.99 for 1 day. Not bad for a 1 day.
Not bad because you get the mug too.
Right. So what are your final thoughts on the rapid fill? Before you start, it seems that most of the YouTube viewers think it's a good thing.
Well, I think it's fine. I don't drink a lot of soda, so it doesn't really matter to me. I bring tea from home when I go to the parks for the most part. So it probably is good because I know I've heard guests use even ice buckets to fill soda with, and this is the way Disney's sort of cracking down on that.
Right, it'll keep everything in order, and actually I think it'll make it better, less of a disaster.
But only like 2 guests can fill drinks at a time, so that can
so there could be
a little bit
an
of
issue
craziness.
with that. But we'll monitor the situation and keep everyone informed. That's correct.
Thanks to our sponsors, Theme Park Connection and Winter Garden, Florida.
And Maple Leaf Tickets, our official ticket agency. We'll see you all next week.
Have a great week.